Hey guys, Lacrosse here, and I'm back playing Frag Pro Shooter for the first time in a few months, and I've been absolutely loving it. There's been so many great changes to the game, and I wanted to make a video today going over what those changes are and my thoughts on them. For me, when talking about Frag Pro Shooter, we can only start with the new cards that have come out. There's been some brilliant cards that are exceptionally fun to play, you know, the likes of Sombrero, Archon, Queen Unicorn, Hunter, Cypher, Ronin, Hannibal. These guys have gone straight into people's decks, and that's really good to see. I think there's perhaps even an argument to say these guys are too strong, but for me personally, that's fine. You know, I'd rather see these guys being run, being used in people's decks and affecting the meta, because without new cards coming into the meta, the game starts to feel a little bit stale. I would much rather these guys came in really strong and perhaps got nerfed later down the line, as opposed to what we saw a few months back, you know, where we had Snow, Gigagoo, Hakuru, Mr. Doe, Miss Bunny, Scrapper, Fragenstein, Avalanche, OK. These guys all came into the game in a really short space of time and had almost no impact on the game whatsoever. On a similar note, there's been some buffs to some of the older characters: Medusa, Fragman, Sageki-chan, Hakuru, BB. I mean, let's talk about BB. Has BB always been this good? Let me know in the comment section down below whether BB did get a buff or whether BB was always this good, because I genuinely don't know. Either way, the combination of the new cards being strong and some of the weaker cards getting buffed have kept the game feeling fresh. Another new feature I want to talk about are the Frag Powers. Now, I want to start by saying the Frag Powers are extremely fun. They've brought some new life to some of the weaker cards, which has in turn made pretty much every card in the game usable, and some of the weaker cards are in fact really strong, almost purely because of their Frag Powers. And of course, for the cards which are already incredibly strong, it just makes them absolutely insane and really fun to use. With that being said, I don't think Frag Powers are necessarily a great change for the game. Frag Powers definitely make it harder than it already is to play against those high level pay to win decks. It would be really nice to see if in the future you could win some of these Frag Powers through winning some events, you know, in a similar way to how you can now with some of the legendary cards. Alternatively, I think they could make the likelihood of you receiving a Frag Power from a chest a little bit higher. As of right now, I've worked my way through 2 battle passes on 2 separate accounts, alongside all of the chests that you get through working your way up through the trophy system and the arenas, and I've only got 1 Frag Power through a chest so far. This basically means that getting the Frag Power for the character that you want is exceptionally unlikely unless you of course buy it. I'm actually planning on doing a separate video on how the pay to win aspect of Frag has changed over time. If you think you might be interested in that video, make sure you subscribe down below. We're going to have loads of videos coming to you over the next few days, so you don't want to miss them. Moving swiftly on, I want to talk about the different game modes which are now in Frag. So we've got the new 2v2 mode, we've got the push, we've got street frag, as well as all of the events which run throughout the week. I remember about a year or so ago, loads of players were calling for a random deck mode. Seeing it in the game now as what is basically a full-time game mode with loads of good rewards, it gives loads of players the choice over what they want to play when they hop onto Frag, is a real positive for the game. The street frag game mode is a lot of fun. I don't know about you guys, but when I think of street frag, I think of street football, and to me, when I think of a street football, I think more about the skills and less about the goals, basically. I would love to see street frag without the targets, or maybe like the targets don't have the full amount of health, so like you can't just wipe out your opponent by taking down the target. I saw someone on the fan base yesterday actually calling for a mode which was frags only and no tower. And I think Street Frag could be that game mode. The map's perfect for it, it would be lots of good fun, and I just think it would make the game mode a little bit more popular. My personal favourite out of all these modes is the 2v2 mode. For me, it's actually my favourite mode in Frag, full stop. I've been having loads of fun combining with my mates. I used the Lollipop Lucha combo, I used Mimi to stand in front of the Poker Hunter and snipe people. We've been pulling off like 6-man rushes or 6-man defense. We've just had so much fun, and the way you can combine so much more easily in this 2v2 mode, it offers some truly unique gameplay experiences. You know, that Lucha Lollipop combo is so much easier in a 2v2 mode than it would be in a 1v1. You know, in a 1v1 you've really got to manufacture the situation, whereas in the 2v2 it's just really simple. I also find it's more possible to play different cards out of position in the 2v2 mode. You know, I was using Cleo as an attacker, which if you haven't tried, by the way, try it out, it's insanely effective. People can't keep up with you when you're just hopping around up there. I was using the boss all over the pitch. I was using Baron Rudoom just in the middle to revive everyone. You know, there's so many cool combinations and different things you can do in this game mode, which for me makes it the best. Now, I'd be lying if I tried to claim it as the perfect game mode. There's quite a few bugs in it, especially trying to get into the game. There's quite a few times where either me or my partner don't get into the game. There have also been times where like one of us is in the game and one of us is in this weird side-on view where they can't control anything. That is a frustration. I don't want to be too harsh on OBB here though, because when it does work it's brilliant and I hope they can solve these bugs. Regarding the push game mode, I played a few games of it. I didn't love it, but I'm sure there's loads of people out there that do love it, and again it just comes down to those options. The more options there are in the game, the more people are going to play the game and enjoy the game, so it's only a good thing. This week I also saw an event which was on the push and it rewarded you with the Joker cards. I know there had been some grumblings from a few top players about the reward system, especially in terms of the Club Wars cards, and I think these Joker cards offer a really good solution to that by giving you the choice on who you want. Having those Joker cards in the game anyway is a positive, but having them as a reward basically just means you're less likely to get cards you don't want. I was also really pleased to see the Fanbase section working a lot better. So for those of you who don't know, the comment section used to be a bit buggy. You couldn't see half of the comments, sometimes you could see one or two, but now you can see all of them. I love the addition of the polls to the Fanbase. I think that's a really good addition, seeing loads of really interesting polls. I love the translate feature. I know that's been in there for a while, but all around I think the Fanbase is really kind of becoming something which Frag players can go to as almost like their own version of Twitter. I love how you can post your YouTube videos on there. I love how you can advertise for your clan, and I think it's clear now that the Fanbase has achieved what it set out to do in that it's acting as a link between the game and the social media and the community. And it's worked. That's the important thing. You know, Frag put out a video the other day saying how they have achieved 50 million downloads, and that's truly an insane number of downloads, and I think it feels like it in the game. The game feels more active. You look at the leaderboards and way more people have high trophy counts, and I feel we have to consider high trophy counts to be a good indicator of how many people are playing the game and playing the game a lot. Last but not least, the skins in the game now are really, really cool. There's so many to choose from. I love the way they've introduced the skin coins. The new Cosmos skins in particular look really, really sick. But all around there's so many nice skins and they're all pretty accessible really. It used to cost a lot more for the skins and there weren't too many. One thing I would like to see them bring back is the skins on the Battle Pass. That used to be so sick. There was so many cool ones on there and it did kind of feel like it added something to the Battle Pass rather than just the chest. In the last week I've seen so many Frag videos of YouTubers sort of showing off the new skins, especially the Cosmos ones, and just in general there's so many cool ones and I think it just adds that little bit of hype to the game. I think skins are an essential part now to modern gaming really, and I feel the next step really should be maybe the weapon skins. There's a few skins on this game which don't quite go with their weapon and it just lets it down a little bit for me. I'm sure I'm in the minority there though. Either way, I'm sure there'd be loads of hype if Frag Pro Shooter did introduce some weapon skins. That just about wraps it up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. We've got loads of good videos coming to you over the next few days. That's all from me though. See you next time.